Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Vashawn Jones, visionary of Fedora Outlier LLC, and it has been a while since I have had the opportunity to talk to you. Um, and this came up over the past week of what are we going to go back to? And in these particular times, I'm in the mode of reinventing myself. What am I moving towards more so than where am I going back to? And this came up with a group of teachers that I'm working with on technology and how to advance the disabled community into the modern world as far as how they're being taught. Because as we know, 9 times out of 10, the students know more than the teachers about technology. And part of that is because there really wasn't a true certification when you talk about CVRTs and things of that nature. Yeah, they had to, do the bare minimum, but technology scares people. It's the second thing that scares people more than public speaking, or right below public speaking is technology. And so, why would that be a major part of your certification if it's hard to understand as a normal person, and then you add on assistive technology on top of it? And the reason why I know it, all the CVRTs that have tried to teach me realize that, oh no, you just can't tell me anything about this technology because I know it like the back of my hand. And so what you find is a bunch of disabled individuals in a school ecosystem that is not designed for their success. And do we want to go back to that? Do we want to go back to riding in cabs when Uber and Lyft have disrupted the transportation industry worldwide? Do we want to go back to flip phones when we have so much capability on our current smartphones? What about going to the movies? If we were to go back and we didn't have audio described video, do we really want to go back to that? Websites and applications that wasn't accessible, do we want to go back to that? And if you think about it, everything that technology has done for us allows us to be able to do it remotely. Now, if you guys remember, Fedora Outlier was the first remote assistive technology consulting, teaching, and support firm in the world. Remember? And so now, 12 years later, everybody is talking remote and work from home and all of this. And we started on remote services. I probably have only taught, out of the thousands of clients that we've taught, maybe 50 people hand on hand. And one of that is because we had a contract with 36 individuals that were part of the business enterprise program that we had to teach, and we had to do it hand on hand because it was difficult to explain that you don't have to, and we just went along with it. Well, I'll probably say about 60 because we had a couple of groups of teachers that we've taught hand on hand, probably about 20 of those. So, and then a few clients that we actually had to go to just based on the contractual agreement. But would I want to go back to teaching one person at a time? Well, not for me. I never really did it. But why? When I can sit here, I can literally press a button and switch cameras, great audio quality, in my office, in my casual clothes. I don't have to put on a fedora. Why would I want to go back to something that really didn't work in the first place? Now, the beautiful thing about all of this disruption around the world is that you have the opportunity to reinvent yourself. It's too much information out there on YouTube and on the internet and with mentors and available time. I mean, if I want to become a great saxophonist, now is the time because everybody's at home. They're not performing. They're reachable at this particular point. So I can find the greatest mentor in the world on anything that I want to do. I want to as they say in the South, up my game on video production and video editing. And I'm going to be able to do that very easily because all the video people, they're not out shooting movies because of COVID. And so they're easily accessible. And I can take my skill that I have of assistive technology, consulting, teaching, and support, and I can leverage it based on what they're able to teach me and turn that into a viable business. One, I can teach other blind people how to do it, which is a business in itself. Two, I can offer a course to teach other blind people how to use it, and that's what I call Swiss money, sales while I sleep soundly money, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just log in and I've already created the course. It's already ready to go. A reinvention of yourself is what's needed right now. What skills do you have that can conform to what's going on in the world that you can market and sell and make money from? That's what you need to be pushing to VR. And they're more open than ever because they were tossed into a sink or swim situation. The only issue with that is they never really sink. They, you know, pretend as if there's nothing wrong, and meanwhile they're floundering. But there's states out there that are really good with pivoting, which means changing direction when the situation warrants it. And so, you know, you think about web accessibility, and I've become the world's expert in WCAG guidelines 2.0 and 2.1. And now my briefings are read and court decisions are made based on my writings of web accessibility. Why? Because I have, since the beginning of the internet, used the internet as a blind person, right? But I've also employed 20 other people to write reports as well. A reinvention of yourself to get you to the goals that you have. Now, guess what? If you don't have any goals, then, you know, that's a problem. We need to work on that. But technology, man, it's simply amazing. And if you don't learn it, if you don't master it, you're going to be left behind. It's not that technology is replacing humans. It's making life more efficient, and the human becomes the manager of the technology. But if you don't know how to manage, which is a skill set in itself, then, you know, you're going to be like the teachers that I was talking to. They're thinking that we're going to go back to something that didn't work. And we're not. We're not going back to riding in cabs. We're just not. But where we are going is to a future that either is going to involve you, or you're going to be swept under the current because you're not in the loop. You're not looking at what's happening and making a change. So thank you guys for listening, and continue to follow what we do on social media. Continue to innovate, and let's change the world together.